How are we doing, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Getting Jiggly With It. I'm Will, and today we're opening up Marvel Zombies. Well, kind of. This is the retail edition that was released by Spinmaster Games. It's more of a lighter entry weight Marvel Zombies. Some of the rules have been trimmed down a little bit. You're getting a little bit less plastic, right? Because you're not going to get as many minis. But it is a good entry point, and it's about $35. So, I mean, if you want to check it out, I've got the link down below, as always, where you can pick up this game on Amazon. Doesn't cost you anything. Might give us a couple bucks to, of course, donate to charity, because that's what we do with all the money we earn from YouTube and Amazon. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera over. We'll go ahead and get through this box. I might, depending if I remember, put little images of what the Kickstarter versions of certain things look like the minis and whatnot. If I remember. Otherwise, you guys let me know down in the comments if you notice the differences, or you can tell what is different, mostly probably with the rules and how that's trimmed back. But let me go ahead and flip over that camera. All right, so here we go. This is Marvel Zombies Heroes Resistance. So the first thing you can tell right off the bat, Heroes Resistance, that is a little bit similar to the X-Men, which was a resistance as well, which was how you played as the heroes. So that is one of the things is, I almost imagine that they believe that people do want to play as the heroes if they're learning how to play the game versus the zombies. Me personally, I read all the comics, and the core of the comics are the zombies. I mean, that's who you're reading and whose thoughts and who's talking. It's the zombies. So for me, I was excited to play as the zombies, but this does give a way for you to play as the heroes. They've said that the components in here could be used in the regular Marvel Zombies, but with the trimming and the more streamlining that they've done to this version, I don't know how much that's going to change, like in terms of abilities and stuff like that. Like I said, if I remember when I'm showing the hero card, I'll show the hero card that they revealed on the campaign, similarly with the minis. But here we go. So this is the front. This is the back, what all we're going to be getting inside of it. So you can see we're going to have 6 hero minis and only 4 zombies minis. Again, can't remember the exact count that you get in the base pledge. And I also don't know if they're going to release the $100 box to retail. So this might just be what Spin Master's doing. And the only way you can get it is in the Kickstarter, which would be a little bit disappointing because I know a lot of people were holding off to see what this was, what retail was. So you might have to pay aftermarket prices, because I think, you know, as much as there was drama around it, I think this is going to be really popular and really hard to come by. The other thing is with the Standees, so you get Standees for the civilians and Standees for the zombies, which is one other difference, is they are zombies instead of course, Multiple Man, because Multiple Man is X-Men, and I guess Spinmaster can have X-Men games, but I guess they wanted to keep this all Avengers based. So of course, Multiple Man is not the bad guy here. So as you can see, it is completely flush. Now, of course, I have already punched this because I punch them when they come in to make sure that I can see all the pieces are in here just in case I need to return it. But it is a perfect fit for the box. I don't know. I think this is about the same size as the Marvel Champions box or the Marvel United box. I don't know how big it is in relation to a regular Zombicide box because we have not gotten our Undead or Alive pledge. But you can see everything is a direct fit. I have it still to the top because in the very bottom I put the punch boards, so that keeps it pushed up to the top. So a little secret for those of you that don't like the extra space at the top of the box, throw your extra punch boards on the bottom. All right, so I guess we'll go through the rulebook first. So here's Resistance. The back does have your round summary, player's aid. So it's 3 actions: activate enemies, spawn enemies in phase, and then the target list and some information about the zombies here. So this is where I said I don't know Zombicide because I haven't played any yet, so I can't say how streamlined these are, or whether the streamlining is just the Marvel Zombies itself, because I do know some streamlining occurred in the Marvel Zombies game compared to Undead or Alive, which was streamlined from 2nd edition and so forth and so on. But you increase your power, fresh activation, activate superheroes, move, open doors, traits, power-ups, rescue, interact, attack. And then enemies, attack and move, and then activate bystanders, spawn more enemies from your spawn points. All right. So table of contents, overview of your pieces. So you can see here the Standees, your player cards, You get clip trackers. So that's one other difference between this and the Kickstarter edition or the deluxe edition. Again, if they come out with the $100 one, I guess we'll call that the deluxe edition, is your tracking and everything is going to be on your cards. You don't get the plastic trays to put everything in and keep everything organized like you do in the regular edition. Four double-sided tiles. And of course, the Kickstarter had 9 double-sided tiles. 27 tokens. So this is a little bit less as well. I can't remember the exact count, but I think it was almost double each of these, except for the Avengers logo. Your experience and everything is going to be an experience style, which is actually pretty cool that they did it that way, since you're not going to have the little track that you can do on the plastic board. And there's the game set up. So I forgot to check the number of pages in the regular rule book, but this one before the missions, we'll see how many missions are. I looked earlier, but I forgot how many it is, but we'll see how many missions are. There are 21, well, that's the mission. So there's 20 pages of rules here. I want to think it was closer to 24 for the Marvel Zombies Kickstarter edition. So not sure what all changes. Game overview, basics, line of sight, and it's got a nice little diagram there showing you line of sight, movement, reading the ID card, so your hero actions, your hero skills, and then your power track where you can harness incredible powers from within themselves. Because of course you're a hero, you're not somebody, trying to survive the apocalypse. Shows you how to use the tracker and the danger based on your experience, and then shows you how many of each that you spawn on the little walker cards. Walkers, brutes, and runners. And then your zombie heroes. So you have Doctor Strange is the example here, but each one's going to have their own card. And then toughness, action 2, XP that you get for defeating them. Player phase, move, open door. So everything that was on the back, just more detailed. Attack, rescue a bystander, power up. And then end of turn, you flip over your nice little activation token that they give you. Enemy phase, activate the enemies, spawn the enemies. And then overview of the cards. Extra activation, so there are special cards. Extra activation, bystander and danger. Zombie hero, and then you have your zombie hero cards. Spawning inside of the buildings, so there are different spawn zones that are going to be there. Combat, power, so that's how the power works. Bystanders, so bystanders is, I again don't know, it's something a little bit different. I remember is you gain them and they give you abilities that you can use during the game, and then you get into your first mission. So mission 0 is the tutorial, which of course is what we'll be playing the first stream that we do. So of course subscribe to the channel if you want to watch that gameplay. I think the second one we do, which is going to be during like Halloween week, I think we might play the one that they created and put up on their website. So CMON did already create a campaign for Marvel Zombies because this was coming out, and that is up on their website. So mission 1, Outbreak, escape through Oscorp, safe zone. Safe zone took up 2 pages. The escort, happy-go-lucky, containment plan, the trap, and then mission 8, tech support. So there's 8 total missions here. And if I remember correctly, the Kickstarter had 10, I think it was 10 in the core box, 10 in the X-Men box, and then a sprinkling through each of course, the different expansions. And then, of course, CMON always creates additional ones that they post to their website. So you kind of can have an ever-growing content. So here are the tiles. Again, I don't know the size of these in relation to the ones that are going to come in the actual Marvel Zombies. Again, I don't have Marvel Zombies, but these are pretty big tiles. If you think about it, I mean, these are, I don't know, that's 12 inches by 12 inches maybe. So that's a nice size tile. Like the graphics and the art, if I can zoom in there. So graphics and art is well done, nice and colorful. Some people have noticed some bending on this. I think for us, it's not that big of a deal because we're on a felted type surface, but there is a little bit of bend. Some people say it's due to humidity, which I think is a factor, and then that humidity of course plays a factor based on the material they use. So you get 4, like I said, 4 double-sided. This one is 2R, that was 1R, 1V, 2V, so the Daily Bugle. 3R, 3V, and then 4R, and 4V. I was going to put them down here in the bottom like I normally do, but I forgot since I'm using the overhead cam now. Sometimes it doesn't like that. All right, so what do we got next? So I got everything to fit in here. Of course, I'll do a reboxing and show you how I got all back in here. But I got everything to fit underneath, and I rebagged everything. So the bags did not come with it. I did rebag it myself. So like I said, if I remember, I'm going to put the hero card in the one of the corner, probably like right over here to the right or something, to show the example difference between the two. So this one here is Spider-Man. Ooh, come down a little bit, Spider-Man. Okay. So there is Spider-Man. So he has 3 hit points. He goes up to 4 power, and then I guess, I don't know if that's an extra for the unlock. Acrobatics, 0, 3, 4 plus, and then his abilities there. Heroic Rescue, once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to move 1 bystander or 1 superhero from an adjacent zone into your zone. When you get to level 2, you get +1 action. You get to level 3, you get web shooters. Once during each enemy phase, when the enemy is in your zone of choice within range, 2 would move. You may spend 1 power to prevent them from moving. So you stick them up, right? Spidey, you stick them into the wall. And then Spidey Sense, each time enemies spawn within a range 2 before any rush, you may perform a free attack or move action. Right? So, and then the back is just, the back of the card. And then we got Black Panther here. So Black Panther is 3 hit points as well, 4 power, 0, 3, or 0, 2, and 3 plus for the range instead of 4 like Spidey. And then his abilities, so we can get this again. I think probably where the card is going to end up being is down on the bottom right. Hard Slash, before attack with Vibranium Claws, you may spend 1 power to hit enemies and suffer -1 toughness to a minimum of 1 and may re-roll any die. And then +1 action, that seems to be the same for everybody. Leaping Charge, once during your turn, you may spend 1 power to move up to 2 zones into a zone containing enemies, ignoring enemies on the way, then performing 3 Vibranium Claw attacks. So that's that Hard Slash. Kinetic Feedback, each time you would suffer wounds, you may spend 1 power to roll 1 die for each wound. On a 3+, prevent the wound and eliminate a walker, brute, or runner in your zone. That's pretty nice. My shoulder is going to be killing me by the end of this. I mean, I guess I could technically zoom in and then zoom back out when I'm done. That way I don't have to... Let's see if this works. I don't know if I want to go over to... that gets a little bit dark. Let's stay at about 35. Get to 45, it starts getting a little dark. All right. So this is the Wasp. So same thing, 3 hit points, 4 power. 0 to 1, 2, and 3. So the dice is to the movement. Okay, 0 to 1 is the movement, I guess. Well, that doesn't make sense. So this is attack. I don't know what that first symbol means. See what happens when I don't read the rulebook ahead of time? Diminutive size. Ignore target's priority when attacking. Do not spend extra activations when leaving zones with enemies. Oh, okay, so she can get small and escape without doing that. The 1 action. Biosynthetic wings. Once during your turn, you may spend 1 action to perform 1 move action, moving up to 3 zones and ignoring enemies. Okay, so you don't have to worry about same thing. So she gets to kind of avoid the zombies. Flyby attack. Each time you enter or exit a zone with enemies, you may eliminate 1 walker, brute, runner, or in that zone. So that's kind of like not as good as, I mean, Panther. Yeah, so they both eliminate 1. Panther also eliminated 1. All right. So we have here Hulk. So Hulk has more hit points. He's got 5 instead of the 3. His power is the same though, 4 power. 0, 3, and 4 plus. And then if you have 5 health at the start of each of your turns, gain 1 power for each wound you have suffered. +1 action, Thunderclap. When attacking with Smash, you may replace your base dice with 1 die for each enemy in the zone before any bonuses, ignoring zombies, heroes for this attack. And then puny zombies. You cannot suffer wounds from walkers or... Oh, okay, so he just doesn't suffer wounds at a certain point. Now, the first one confused me. It says, you have 5 health. Okay, well, I get that. Oh, period. At the start of each of your turns, gain 1 power for each wound you have suffered. Okay, so his first ability, he's taking wounds. He's basically a tank, and then it gets him additional power so he can get powered up a little bit quicker. All right, so vision, 3 hit points. Oops, get in the middle. There we go. Adaptive. Oh, hang on. 4 power, 0 to 1, 3, and 4 plus. And then his abilities. Adaptive strategy. When drawing heroic traits, you may draw 2 and select one, shuffling the other back and down. Okay, so you can get a little bit better selection of your traits. +1 action. Hologram. At the start of each enemy phase, you may spend 1 power to select one zone within range 2. Enemies treat that zone as having a superhero in it when activating during this phase. Natural Tactician. Once during your turn, you may allow one other superhero to draw 1 free heroic trait and then perform 1 free action, then resume your turn. Okay, that's nice. So he's kind of a nice support class. So he makes it easy for other characters to be able to level up too. All right, and then the last one is the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes. So 0, 2, 3 plus for his combat blade. 3 hit points, 4 power, so that's all the same. And then his abilities, come on now, there we go. Assassinate. Each time you attack with combat blade, you automatically eliminate 1 walker or runner in your zone. Ooh, that's nice. +1 action. Combat reflexes. Each time an enemy enters your zone, you may spend 1 power to immediately perform 1 free combat blade attack, which of course combos with that assassinate. Hand-to-hand expert. When attacking with combat blade, you may reroll any die or dice. Once during your turn, you may perform 1 free combat blade action. So lots of combat blade actions happening there with Bucky, which seems good because that eliminates walkers and runners. All right. So we got the lid here. This plastic felt like okay. I mean, it's a little bit thin, but this plastic feels really thin, especially compared to Marvel United. So I guess we'll go to tokens. So these are there's really not a reason for me to take them out. So these are the action tokens to show that you've taken action. There's only 4. Even though there's 6 heroes, this is only a 4-player game, unlike the Kickstarter edition, which can be played up to 6, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that when you buy the extra player kit? Either way, you can play more with the Kickstarter because you can get the extra player kit too. These are your objective tokens. So there's 3 colors. There's blue, red, and I thought there was a green one. Maybe because they're double-sided. Red, blue, green, red. Okay, so yeah, so they're all red on one side, and then there's one that's got blue and one that's got green on the other side. Your Avengers token. That's because you can throw this thing around. So you throw it twice. I think you'd use it twice because once it's this, and then after you throw it, it goes to that. Then you use it again, and it destroys it. Your dice. So these are normal Zombicide dice. One thing a lot of people are talking about on the Kickstarter would have been nice to have custom dice, and the Infinity Stones kind of would have worked for that because they, 6 dice, 6 Infinity Stones. Well, there's 5 Infinity Stones. So technically it wouldn't work. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 Infinity Stones because there's the one in the middle. Yeah. But yeah, so normal Zombicide dice. They're not Marvel specific. I think that'd been nicer if they were, but they're not. I'll deal with trying to shove those back in my little bag later I don't even know why. There you go. They fit just fine down in here. Oop, there we go. We'll go through the cards. I'm not going to read all these like I did the heroes, so my card's already bent there, so unfortunately. So these are the bystander cards. You have J. Jonah Jameson, Okoye, Pepper Potts, Sharon Carter, Wong, Happy Hogan, and that's it. So that was how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by default. I think the base game in the Kickstarter has more than 6. Don't know how many. Maybe, again, I'll remember to put that in here. Probably not. So here are the superhero zombies. So first we have Captain America. When his zone is attacked, roll 1 die for each successful hit. On 5+, cancel that hit. Okay, so he defends with his shield. Okay, he's got 3 hit points. Iron Man. If he ends his activation at range 1 or 2 and with line of sight to a zone with any superheroes, he will attack that zone with 4 hit points. Scarlet Witch. 3 hit points. Superheroes must re-roll all hits while in her zone. So she basically is distorting reality, so you have to re-roll. And then Doctor Strange, 3 hit points. When he activates, if it is not in a zone with a superhero, his first action, he moves into a closest zone with a superhero. So basically, he's doing portals, the mystical portals, and jumping around the board. Yeah. So these are all the zombie cards. So just random zombie cards. They get different amounts of 7, 9, 10, 9. These ones are Walker Rush, so they spawn and then they activate instead of just spawning your brutes. Same thing, spawn and activate. The runners, zombie heroes, which are generic. I still don't know why you don't just put these in place of these, like based on the scenario. I've never really understood that, why they say this. Similarly with the Kickstarter, people are asking, well, how do you bring in the daily reveal zombies? Because there's no card for it, so it's not like you can just randomly put them in there. And then the last thing is extra activation. So all walkers, all brutes, all runners, they all get an extra activation. And then bystander in danger. Okay, so then this activates off of your bystanders. So that is all of the walker cards. And then these are what are these? Ambush cards. So these are an ambush. So these go inside of the heroic traits. Spawn 1 walker in your zone, then draw another trait card. So it's a danger while you're trying to find your upgrades. Instead, you find a zombie. So lots of trait cards, power up, determine, dash, focused, mighty. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if there's any differences in these from the Kickstarter version. Also, I think these are the right size because I was looking at the player boards and these look like they'd be the right card size to fit on the player boards. So I don't think these are any smaller. But that's all your traits. And then that's what I was talking about. Here's the Avenger sign. So just a reference card, shows that you can do 1 to 2, roll 4+, roll 1 die for each enemy in the targeted zone. Heroes are ignored for this attack. Flip the token to its damage side after first use and then remove it after the second use. That is our cards. Here are our standees. Now, there's no way that you're going to be able to fit these standees in the box with the bases on them. So that unfortunately does mean you're going to get a lot of wear and tear sliding on and off. If somebody knows of a good method, because like you couldn't even sit them standing up because they're too tall. And if you did them like this, like you'd be able to have one plastic piece here and one plastic piece here, but that would be it. So that entire thing is being taken up by basically two standees. So here they all are. They're nice. I mean, I like minis. A lot of people, that was one thing a lot of people were complaining about was with the daily reveals that they kept giving more bystanders. But to me, that's more fun, right? Because you get a lot more variety, because these are your upgrades, these are your power-ups. But a lot of people are like, well, they're just power-ups. They could be a card, right? You don't need a bystander to be your power-up. You're getting a card for that, right? You can just put a token on the board and save the minis for the heroes. I get it. I'd like more heroes, but I think I would see less play with the heroes than the variety from the bystanders, right? I think that adds more variety in the game because a lot of the heroes are really pretty much the same. And then here is your brute. There you go, brute. And then we got the walker. He was just trying to go to work one day, and unfortunately he got bitten, and so now he's not going to make it to work. There we go. That is the walker, Texas Ranger. And then, no, see that joke? That's the joke we're going to make during Undead or Alive. And then we got the runner. Here is the runner. There she goes. So the runner. And then, let's see what else we got. We got the spawn tokens. So there's red spawn tokens, green spawn tokens, blue spawn tokens, and then your exit token. Your doors. So red doors, green doors, blue doors. I don't know why there's different color doors. And then the doors are closed. Now, somebody said they noticed that the doors, yeah, they're not. I read somebody else's and they were like, oh, the doors are already there, but technically they're not. There is a door there, but I think you still need to put this door because I think the color makes a difference in terms of getting into that door. Here are the wheels, the XP wheels. So they're just normal little spinny spin wheels. Oops. So just shoot. So experience wheel. 43 is in the red zone. So there's only one red zone. This whole zone here is orange. This is yellow. So it's 0 through 6 is still level 1. 7 through 18 is level 2. 19 through 42 is level 3. Or 42. 43 is level 4. That seems higher than the Kickstarter game. I think this might be where they made it easier, because I definitely think it's way lower than like 18. I don't think you can get up to 42, right? I don't know. I have to check. You guys let me know down in the comments. Here are the little pins. So the way these work is, do I have one of the hero cards? No, I put them up. Hang on. You put these on your hero card, and then you're just going to slide. Me and Audrey mentioned this in something else we were playing where it was just sitting on top and it kept getting knocked around. This is what you need. See, so you can just slide it over, slide it over, slide it over. Right? I guess you could do it either way. But this way actually has like a little arrow pointing down to it, so I think that's probably the way you're supposed to do it. You just slide it. Serves its purpose. It works. Put that back in there. I kept saying, oh, I'm going to clean up later, but I'm going to eventually have to do that for the reboxing anyways. Standees, and I don't even know if it's a 1-to-1 ratio because I didn't put them on yet. So I'm not even sure if there's enough here to technically put one on every single walker and walker runner brute. And then your color, so that way you know who your characters are on the board. All right. So that is that. So now let's go ahead and look at the minis. I will start with the bad guys. Again, I don't have, since we don't have the Kickstarter version, I don't know if the quality of these are a little bit less. Now they do have the molded bases. They are alternate sculpt. So that's where like a lot of people are like, well, there's Kickstarter exclusive. Well, no, that's sculpt is Kickstarter exclusive, I guess, because I think Winter Soldier was one and Vision was one. They were supposed to be Kickstarter exclusive. But there we go. That is Captain America. It's got a lot of nice detail. So shouldn't be too hard to paint if you're wanting to paint. I'm going to try a new method of painting. It's going around, they're calling it slap chop. Before that, it was called zenithal highlighting with speed paints. Before that, it was called undercoating, which is basically the same thing. You're basically just creating a dark color, a light color. So then the speed paints or the Citadel paints, contrast paints, look better, and it's a lot quicker, easier way. A lot of them are saying that if you're good enough, because really it's still going to take some coordination, you can get a mini painted in like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. So there is Scarlet Witch. So same thing, a little rubble base going on. So they're more like a gritty, rubbly base. They didn't do as much with hers. Cap had, of course, the Hydra, like a piece of, I guess, a Hydra building in his background. But there is Scarlet Witch. And then we got Doctor Strange. See, and unfortunately, the Multiverse of Madness came out afterwards, so they couldn't use... it would have been kind of cool if they would have done the zombie Doctor Strange look. Although I guess this one might be a little bit more the zombie Doctor Strange from the movie. I'd have to compare it with the other one. I should have the other one up on the screen again. All if I remember. I've said it enough, so I better remember because I'm going to be editing this video right after this. All right, and then we got Iron Man. Audrey was very sad about Iron Man because Iron Man is her favorite, and Tony Stark, and unfortunately he is a zombie. We do not get the hero version until the Kickstarter arrives. So there we go. And as long as the powers and abilities aren't that big of a difference, you should be able to cross play. Now, of course, if you're getting the Kickstarter version, the cross play really comes down to playing the hero mode in this box. while you're waiting on the X-Men to arrive. That's, again, if you got the X-Men. So here is Vision. So he's just kind of coming up off the ground, kind of getting into his flight pose, I guess, is what they're trying to pull off here. So just coming off some rocks. And then we have Wasp. So here is the Wasp. Ooh, hang on, calm down. There's the Wasp. All right. It's kind of cool. They made her like she was shrunken because she's got like these bolts and screws down there underneath of her. Lots of details. They got that little honeycomb pattern in her wings. Come on. Focus on the wings. Oh, they're focused on everything but the wings. Yeah, there you go. So there's decent detail in them. So I don't think they'll be bad to paint. A lot of times when minis start to get this small, it's kind of hard to paint the detail because they're so tiny. And then we got Winter Soldier who wants to, there we go. Winter Soldier with his little dagger there. So yeah, just a rubble dirt base for him as well. And then they got his flowing locks, flowing hair. Oddly, he was confused because she doesn't remember him with his long hair. And honestly, I don't remember the mask as much in the comics. I know it was in the Winter Soldier movie, but I don't remember the mask in the comics. And then we've got Black Panther. So Black Panther, same thing, got some rocks, more rocks and debris. He does have some vegetation though on his base. So I guess he's out in the park or in the woods, or technically he'd be in Africa and Wakanda, but he's in New York City. So it's kind of a contradiction of things. Pretty good detail. I don't know if it's got, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, so it's got his little, the teeth type marks that go around his suit. So it's got those in there, that detail. Okay, I was looking in the back. I was like, I think that's a mold release line. All right, and we got Spider-Man. So here he is off of a, there we go, off the wall Spider-Man. He's the only one that really has something that looks more like a cityscape because he's got that wall for the rubble. And then his, should be able to get in here. And so you do see it. So it does have his the lines for his suit. So the webbing. And then last but not least is the big boy himself, which is Hulkito. As Adri calls him, it's Hulkito. There, come on, Hulkito. Get in the camera. He's just raging out. This is actually a really nice one. He's a big boy. He's a lot bigger than the other ones in comparison. There you go. So that's him in Vision. Come on. This is hard to do. Yeah, so he's definitely bigger than everybody else. So that's one of the reasons I'm excited for the Kickstarter version. Is, of course, you get the zombie version, and he's going to be this big thing on the board. I don't know how many of them are going to be as big as some of the ones that were in the campaign for Undead or Alive. I don't remember if there were any that were that big, but I think that would actually be kind of fun, having huge minis on the board. Well, you get Galactus, right? So if you did the Galactus pledge, you get Galactus. All right, so we're gonna put all this in a key. See if we can get all this to fit back in. It does require a little bit of like pushing here, pushing there, trying to get it all lined up so that way it's flat as it can be. But it gets a little bit flat. That goes in like that. That goes in like that. I'm not going to worry about putting that in there because that takes more time. We're going to play it anyways. All right. There we go. That goes there. So like I said, I've got the insert pieces underneath to keep it as flush as possible. So that way when you get everything in here, there we go. It goes in flush like so. Like so. Like so. I forgot I zoomed in the camera. There we go. Now we're zoomed out. All right. Boop. There we go. All right, there we go. That is Marvel Zombies Hero Resistance. So this is the retail version of Marvel Zombies. The camera's having fun because it's still daylight outside. Normally I do this when it's dark. If you want to see the painting video, of course, the how to play videos or playthrough videos that we're going to do, make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell notification to know when those videos go live. Also, you can follow us up on social media to find out more about our gameplays or other things that we do, right? And last but not least, if you want to be able to win a copy of this, we will be doing this as a giveaway as part of Extra Life. So stay tuned in the future when we announce that. But until next time, guys, peace.